Cavaliers, Craig Porter Jr. They've got Allen still trying to find their consistency. Here's Mobley. Off to Mitchell. 3 straight games with at least 35 points against Philly for Mitchell, and Mobley finishing the lob.
Yeah, and again, it's right off the bat. Donovan Mitchell's in the paint, and it creates so many problems because you're trying to figure out as a last-line defender when to commit. And that time, Mobley, the easy recipient.
Mobley came out of the gates with aggression the other night as well. Ended up with a big game, 17 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 blocks. Edgecombe buries the jumper. Nick Nurse thought VJ had maybe the worst. Here's Mobley. Maxey denying Mitchell. Mobley trying to do it himself. Looking to take Barlow. The hook is good from Evan Mobley.
Incredibly difficult shot right there. Barlow actually defended that pretty well. He took away the middle. Mobley goes back to that jump hook, but that was a deep jump hook outside the lane.
Here's George. Giving it up. Embiid. Getting a little more comfortable driving it of late. Embiid splash on the jumper. 12 straight games with at least 20 points for Joel Embiid.
There is that touch we talk about all the time. For a guy that big, his power basically drove Jarrett Allen back under the rim. He still had a 15-foot jumper left.
Porter able to hit in the paint. Kenny Atkinson was funny talking about Craig Porter Jr. He said, I don't know, have you guys ever seen a 6'4" power forward?
It's a good way to describe him, right? There's no doubt. It's built like a truck, and he plays that way, and he called him a jack of all trades, and that's really his value to this team.
Here's Embiid, muscling down. Again, same thing, legs. Creating that separation with the physicality on Allen.
Yeah, that's a big shoulder. You know, to hit you in the sternum, Joel Embiid hits you with that, and you're already backpedaling. There's no way you can stay on balance to contest that.
Here's Mobley off the catch, back to Porter. Not really a threat from 3. Tyson will fire, can't hit. Porter, there's the 6'4" power forward. Kenny Atkinson loves his offensive rebounding as Tyson cashes in. Six points in the paint already for Cleveland. George on the rip move, foul on the floor called against Tyson. Got to for Maxey, George, and Embiid. Started out 0-4. They're 6-2 in their last 8. George can't hit the corner 3. Barlow deflects it, lands with Tyson. Tyson, who's carved out a nice role for Cleveland this season. Porter gets denied. Save back to Tyson. Maxey on the steal. Doesn't have the numbers. Waiting for help. George wide open. Connects on the 3.
Nice shot. Maxey with the great read defensively to play that passing lane, but then I liked his patience coming up the floor. He knew Paul George was running the right wing. He gave him plenty of time to get to the corner and get his feet set before he delivered the basketball.
Triple team comes. Porter has it deflected. George off the steal. Barlow the slam.
Nick Nurse has to be happy. They're definitely more in a state of readiness.
Cavs went on an 18-2 run a few minutes into the game and never looked back as Tyson parries the 3. Jalen Tyson getting his 23rd start of the season. It's the 20th pick of last year's draft. Averaging nearly 13 points per game. Very efficient shooting it as well. That one rims out. Allen able to fingertip the rebound. Mitchell looking to dance around George. Good hands there from Barlow. Just snared it away. Again, that activity you're talking about, legs. VJ, he hits. Timeout, Kenny Atkinson.
Floor really ingratiating himself to the young fella and allowing him to thrive here. They've been a great tandem thus far. The interesting thing I did speak to him about was, because Nick Nurse had told us he's a historian of the game and he's so young. So I asked him, hey man, you're from the Bahamas. Do you know the OG from the Bahamas in the NBA? And he looked at me all twisted. He was like, of course, it's Michael Thompson. I know who that is. And then I said, well, you know, who else was all the stuff that we saw live?
Now, look, I can digest watching Jordan's highlights on YouTube, but the fact he needed to go to YouTube,
Oh, yes.
I mean, I'm glad that you took the time.
I ran out of time. I couldn't get to it all.
Terrific stuff. You know, that connection with Maxey, too, and VJ Edgecombe. developed in the offseason as well. Maxey had invited VJ and some of the other teammates of the Sixers to early workouts. But he came to the first one at 6 a.m. Maxey then called up his father afterwards and said, hey, we got a special one in VJ. And he could tell just from his heart the way he was so competitive in the shooting drills they were doing as Mitchell finally gets on the board, finally got some space.
And you saw Maxey on the other end with that floater. He's known for the one-legged jumpers in the lane, but you cannot leave Donovan Mitchell alone in transition. Sixers really poor balance that time getting back.
George buries the mid-range. Both teams shooting it unbelievably well out of the gates. Cleveland 6 of 8 and Philadelphia 8 of 10. Mobley trying to squeeze it in back door, and that's going to
tonight. But that's a couple of times now. He's done a really good job of squaring him up and forcing him to pick the ball up.
Here's Embiid, nice give and go. Maxey able to serve it in high off the window.
How can he make an absurdly difficult shot look that mundane? I can't even tell you the degree of difficulty in what Tyrese Maxey just did.
I mean, to do it all in one motion off the catch, unbelievable. Here's Tyson, catch, fire, and hit from 3.
Deadly. They've got so many guys that can hurt you from out there. They made 20 of them on Wednesday. It's a priority when you play them, but they're so good off the dribble as well. It's hard to just stay home.
Embiid now splash. I mean, both of these teams shooting around 80% more than midway through the first. Mitchell the lob, and Allen the slam.
That's just early. Mitchell unimpeded, really, just having his free run at the rim. You get into the paint like that, I said you freeze your backline defenders because you're not sure if you have to fully commit to him, and that's why Allen has gotten behind now for the lob dunk, and Mobley had one earlier.
Embiid a 3, back iron and off. Tyson the rebound, a rare miss in this game. Philadelphia 10 of 13, the Cavs 8 of 10 from the floor. Mitchell goes to the corner. Mobley looking to take Edgecombe, double comes, Tyson. You know, he almost popped that release a little higher because of the closeout of Barlow.
No.
Maxey, back iron off. Barlow, the offensive rebound, couldn't put it back in. Barlow very active in the early going, and George comes up with a steal. And the finish. Philadelphia has already forced 5 Cleveland turnovers, turned it into 12 points. And another turnover. That's 6 now for the Cavs in this first. Embiid with some space, twisting inside, gets fouled, and Embiid. 6 points already for Embiid. Hey, let's take a look at the national TV schedule. And you talked about it the other night, even on that one attempted putback, where you could see he doesn't have that immediate explosion off the glass to go straight up. But what are you seeing that's allowed him to produce at a higher level over the last few weeks, even without that?
You know what? It always gets back to the same thing. It's an incredible shooting touch as well.
Wow. Speaking of explosion.
Great back cut there by Tyson with the reverse dunk. But Joel Embiid, it's coming together for him. You know, that last part might not be until later, like after the All-Star break, where you see him start to go up in traffic and finish with authority.
Like right there, got to the spot, but didn't quite have the lift. Does eventually get the whiff. Cleveland. They dropped the first 2 to the Cavs. They have another meeting after this. That that's going to matter in the Eastern Conference standing. Same way they felt about Toronto, felt like a game they had to have. That's how they feel tonight against Cleveland. And Kenny Atkinson said, you actually, who's not playing tonight after injuring his big toe the other night. Let's get an update on him from George Sedano right now.
Ryan Tim, a left big toe surgically repaired in the offseason. He's been playing through that, trying to get back his game, had some recent good play, but in the last game, it was the other foot, the big right toe, that he hurt. So at the moment, no update in regards to when he'll be back to play. They will reevaluate him when they return to Cleveland tonight.
Hoping for good news there, as he had just started to really get going, find his pace and rhythm as that last hits Mobley and goes out of bounds.
He was starting to get it back, and he actually had him when he was finally starting to find his rhythm.
And the Cavs hopeful that they dodged a bullet there with the toe the other night, but as George said, they'll get more information back in Cleveland. Also no Sam Merrill, who injured the same hand he had missed 14 games with early in the season. He's a critical piece for Cleveland, and it remains to be seen how long he will be out, as he was and still is in quite a bit of pain with that hand.
And he was on a heater coming into the game the other night. 26 for his last 51 from the three-point line. So, again, Kenny Atkinson has alluded to it. And, look, a lot of teams in this league.
Philadelphia in front. Mitchell, innovative scoop, but it ends up in the first row.
They threw off the shot clock from half court was probably an unforced. And the one Paul George stole in the backcourt.
Bono with the big finish.
Man, the energy he gives them, too.
McNur's been happy with how he's played his role. So also just the speed that he gives them, which is a little switch up from, say, Embiid. And Bono flies back for the rejection. Deflected by Mitchell. Cavs come up with it. Ahead of the field, and Bono might have gotten a piece again. Proctor another chance. Can't hit in the corner. Deflected Mobley. Proctor says, I'm not taking this one. Mitchell, no. And it finally settles with Philadelphia.
Well, give Bono a lot of credit for right now energizing this crowd on both ends. Had the big dunk and two incredible rejections to protect that rim, and this is what it leads to when you make that kind of effort defensively. Eventually,
Mitchell and gets the whistle, but they will call the foul on the floor. And
overextended, so he just stops, put on the brakes, and threw the contact.
I think Donovan could have gotten another whistle there, and that's exactly what he's asking Ray Acosta.
He heard from both of these teams, and certainly Houston and Minnesota.
Here's Hunter stepping back. Difficult long two early in the shot clock, and Bona comes up with the rebound. Oubre still trying to get back his rhythm after missing time due to injury. He had gotten off to an excellent start. George, pull up three. Missed it right and short. Mitchell and Oubre both go down to the backcourt. Tyson had 12 in the first. Here's Tyrese Proctor. Mobley with space. Wow, Bona closed on that beautifully. And Mobley missed it badly. Lob it in. Bona had his jersey grab. Still makes the catch. Still able to finish. Adem Bona making an impact here in this second.
Man, that's athletic ability right there. The hard closeout on Mobley forced that shot to be really flat and short, and it runs the floor. Really nice catch in traffic in the finish.
Proctor answers with the three. 7-point Philadelphia lead. 7:35 to go in the second. And look at Proctor just take it out of the arms of Edgecombe and slam it down. BJ raised his hand right away to say, that's on me, fellas.
Yeah, he just got a little bit, his head got out in front of the basketball that time. He just got going a little bit too quick. He knew what he wanted to do, but he didn't execute it with the handle. That's going to be the next part, I think, for BJ Edgecombe. More creativity with that handle.
Mitchell gets bumped by Edgecombe. They'll call the foul on the floor. Philadelphia 4 turnovers in the second after they had 1 in the first. Hunter missed it badly. Allen able to flag down the rebound. Another chance here. Tyson in the corner. He got it. Feathery touch. Jalen Tyson has
tonight and ferocious, and we've seen that with an early lead for Philadelphia.
Great work from you, George, and awesome footage there. You know, Kenny was joking with us before the game. He said there was, a time when he was an assistant with the Knicks where he'd be out there running with the guys. And he was like, I felt like Steve Nash. I knew the offense. I was able to drop it to everybody when it needed to, get him in the right spots.
Kenny, of course, played University of Richmond, so we've always kind of connected over that Richmond thing.
I love 30. Both games also available on ESPN. Hornets have been playing better. There's some big wins of late.
Don't sleep on them, that's for sure. I mean, especially when you're at home. I mean, they went in and just thumped Oklahoma City. They took care of the Lakers pretty easily last night.
Yeah.
Those are 2 really good road wins. They have a high-powered offense. They just have struggled with consistency.
They have some good young talent. Concanipple is having an incredible rookie season. Embiid finishes.
Man, that is just beautiful touch right there. For a guy that big to catch that on the move, never really put it down or gathered.
Hunter, nobody guarded him. And he just scoots right to the hoop. Foul stays here as here's Embiid on the move again, gets the whistle as he leaned into.
He goes down. I'm sure Nick Nurse sort of holding his breath, just hoping he gets up without a limp and walks over and make free throws. Is definitely something.
We're by a single point in overtime. The other one was Wednesday where the Cavs really gave it to him. But they have started to play better as they have gotten healthy. In the corner, Proctor buries the three.
And talk about confident. That was a ball fake on a closeout. He created space with that dribble to the left, but it was still a contested shot. He had no doubt he was going to let that fly when he caught it.
Tyrese Proctor with 8 points and 6 minutes off the bench. Embiid can't hit. Hunter the rebound. Here comes Tyson. Jalen Tyson kicks it out. Little off target. Porter finds Tyson on the cut. Tyson, good look into Allen. Allen dove underneath Embiid, couldn't finish it. Trendon Watford getting some minutes here. Watford lays it in. Saw him get early minutes the other night as well. Porter working behind Allen. Porter stops, pops, doesn't get the roll. Allen trying to fling the rebound out, but Grimes comes up with it. Barlow didn't want to shoot it. Grimes will. Rims off. And Grimes was so hot to begin the season. It's cooled off lately. Mobley and Mitchell going to the scorer's table. Hunter the pull-up. That one is good.
Yeah, good rhythm on that for DeAndre Hunter. He doesn't shoot a ton of mid-range pull-ups. Usually it's going to be something slashing on the offensive glass, or he's going to shoot a three. That was really...
What would the half have looked like without all those turnovers and that they put their defense in such compromising positions? He said they gotta match their intensity and physicality and certainly be more organized to be able to take care of the ball in this half, Ryan.
All right, George, good stuff. Ryan Rucco, Tim Legler, George Sedano with you. Appreciate you hanging out with us. First game of our doubleheader tonight on ESPN. Minnesota and Houston up next. Porter gets it to Mobley. Plows ahead, missed it badly. I think he caught his own air ball there. Yeah, he did. Travel, so there's another turnover for Cleveland.
And I think that was a situation where the ball, and beat on that first basket here to start the third quarter. I don't know if there's an easy 21 to be had in the NBA, but if there is, we're watching it with what Joel Embiid has done to this point.
21, 6 of 13 from the floor, 8 of 8 from the line. George back to Embiid, mid-range. Yeah, sure.
I mean, it's just so effortless for him right now, and that was created by Paul George. Great ball fake. You get into the gap, force a help, and Joel Embiid again with a face-up jumper.
Tyson in the corner, connects on the three. How about Jalen Tyson? Second-year man who was the 20th pick of last year's draft. He's 5th amongst qualifying players in three-point percentage. 46 for Allen on the block.
That's next year's rule change, half fouls. Right? Think about that.
I like
that. You can start players in the game a little bit longer with that.
By the way, who has the better record on challenges this year, you or Richard?
Don't believe anything that this man next to me is about to say.
Because Dave Freed has told me Richard's 5 for 5 and you're 1 and 8.
I think Richard, though, he's overly cautious in how long he takes until he knows where it's about to go. I've kind of on to him.
That's the right scouting
how
report.
He does that?
Yeah,
no doubt.
Bolden, that you had it correct. So fair enough.
Richard watches them. He reads lips of the officials, you know, when they're talking.
Takes credit in the aftermath.
You don't sleep on him. He's tricky.
Ryan.
I'll see him next week.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's going to have a lot to say about this conversation that we just had.
I'm sure Richard. Mitchell hits the second. Crowd will have to wait on their Chick-fil-A. See if Mitchell can do what he did last game. At a 20-point third quarter. Tonight had a really quiet and at times sloppy first half.
I said to you at half, the carelessness with the ball, but you know what he's capable of doing. He didn't have a great first half on Wednesday, and then he had 20 in the third quarter to really get that separation.
He had 5 turnovers in the first half tonight. Mobley over Barlow, couldn't finish it. Tyson the rebound, gets it out to Mitchell. 8 to shoot. Tyson steps behind the line and hits again. Jalen Tyson is a revelation. 25 points for the Cavaliers. Well, Kenny Atkinson was talking to us earlier in the season, and he said, the phrase you just used, Tim, we found a guy in Jalen Tyson. This time Tyson finds Mitchell, his three off the mark. Last touch Mobley.
And I tell you what, I thought they had numbers there for maybe Mitchell to get something that makes sure you're in that tight space without stepping out of bounds. Well done by Jalen Tyson.
Embiid shooting practice, he got it. 26 for Joel Embiid. Mitchell bounces to Mobley. His three's off. Last touch Mobley out of bounds. It's sometimes a starter off the bench. Obviously tonight scoring, he said he'll just roam through practice, be like role player coming through, role player. And he's really embraced whatever role the Cavaliers need him to play.
And he's taken advantage of an opportunity. You know, you have to start the season, no Max Strus. Like, there's extra minutes to be had, and you've got to jump on that opportunity when given the chance and prove you belong in the rotation.
Oh, Allen with the finesse at the finish. Tyson with 25. Paul George has 10, and then Embiid has 26. George, the only other Sixer in double figures, with Embiid, who splashes again. 28 for Joel Embiid.
They're just hovering in that top of the key, foul line area he loves in the middle of the floor. Maxey did most of the work to create that. Embiid, again, a pretty simple face-up jump shot, uncontested.
Allen barrels in, couldn't toss it home. Maxey on the drive, able to squirt it in off the window, and Kenny Atkinson needs a timeout. Here's Porter, off to Tomlin, Hunter. Tyson, the little runner banks in. Well, Tyson Embiid probably wasn't the heavyweight fight you thought you were coming for, but 27 for Tyson and 28 for Embiid as we check in with George Sedano.
Ryan Legs, the thing about Jalen Tyson is he comes from a family of football players. His dad played for the Rattlers at Florida A&M. He had a brother, Barron, who played at South Alabama. But his youngest brother, Jordan, is currently
tonight to get run off the three-point line like he just did and keeping them afloat, waiting for Donovan Mitchell to have one of those runs that he typically goes on.
Yeah, no Garland tonight for the Cavs. Tyson's already tied his career high with 5 made threes. It's been a quieter night for Mobley than what we saw on Wednesday. Tomlin explodes to the rim, plus the foul.
Pass was available.
Wow, Legs, you're right. I mean, just the intricacy of that movement from Tyson.
Seen it several times tonight, like whether it's a fade to the corner or a flare on a cross-court pass, the way he uses screens to get his feet set. Very impressive. He's got a maturity to his game offensively.
Here's Hunter. Hunter speeding in, lays it in with the left hand over Embiid. Cavs making a push out of that timeout. Now a three-point game. Embiid backing into the paint, whirling, couldn't finish it. Oubre with the athletic finish.
Yeah, Oubre just hung around in the lane because he knew as Embiid started to back down his defender, you know you're going to draw more attention, and somebody took their eyes off Oubre, and he's able to sneak in there for a tip-in.
Porter the shovel, Allen the kick out, and Tyson lost it. Maxey the poke away, the three. No. Maxey 1 of 6 from 3. Tyson barrels in, Grimes locked him up, and a whistle.
Tyson's forearms, but his footwork was really good on that Grimes and cutting him off. He just attempted good effort, but yes, definitely some contact there on the arm.
Tyson, a season high, 29 points. His career high is 31. He's 9 of 12 from the floor, 5 of 7 from 3, and 6 of 6 from the line.
He's the only player in double figures for the Cavaliers. And you look up and they're down 3 points.
Unbelievable when you consider the They tap into the action in the NBA app.
Putting up like over 20 points a night and 7 rebounds in 29 minutes, so in limited action. And you can see like, it's rounding into form a little bit for him, particularly with his touch. And again, just automatic at the line. What a luxury to have a center go 10 for 10 from the free throw line.
Right, I mean, he's having a 30-point night already. You still have 4.5 minutes to go in the third. Here's Tomlin on the reverse, got rejected by the rim. Allen trying to salvage the possession. Tyson will float it in. Jalen Tyson has matched his career high with 31 points.
And Watford was in there trying to draw that charge, but Tyson did a pretty good job of eluding him and still concentrating on the rim to be able to finish that shot. That's not easy when someone's waiting on you near the restricted area.
Maxey, no. Rebound, Tomlin. Naquan Tomlin around the Allen screen. Back to Porter. Porter looking to shake Grimes. Porter fading. Nice move from Porter, just couldn't quite finish it. Mitchell, Ball, and Mobley getting ready to come in. Oh, Embiid gets tripped. It'll be in Philadelphia, the 76ers, a 7-point lead on the Cavs, looking to avenge their loss the other night to Cleveland as Mobley dives on the floor and Kenny Atkinson's going to take a timeout. All right, thank you very much. Quentin and George. 7-point Philadelphia lead. Mitchell, can he get going? That'll help.
Man, I mean, he covers so much ground on that crossover dribble, and then he just goes to the step back on balance. Great lift. Well-designed set out of that, and he knew he wanted that step back three from the time he touched the ball.
He had 3 in the first, 3 in the second, 1 in the third. It's a 3 to begin the fourth. Edgecombe with the answer.
Good response right there. Good ball movement by Philly. Edgecombe, like I said about Maxey earlier, that's one of the few shots he's had tonight where he received it with space already squared up.
Oh, Proctor. The difficult reverse finish off the juggle. Irish Proctor's had some really nice moments tonight for Cleveland. Cavs without Darius Garland, as well as Sam Merrill, both got hurt on Wednesday. Also without Dean Wade. Good hands from Proctor, knocked away, ball after it, so is Grimes. And, wow, you crushed me on that.
Didn't love the toss, I was gonna say, but
I didn't either.
But we got it. I was right, so I'm fine with it.
So you love the toss right. A little bit more.
And Philly cashes in off of that. That's tough to give up a bucket on your own end off that jump ball because you don't secure it and then you fall asleep on the backside.
Ball fakes, gives Mobley. Ooh, Tomlin just wasn't ready for it. December 22nd has really started to hum. 4th in offensive efficiency, 2nd in field goal percentage, 4th in three-point percentage. As Grimes lays it in. A 9-point lead now for Philly. And when they've gotten into 9, the Cavs have responded, cut it down to 3 or 4 as Mitchell can't hit that. Tomlin the rebound, the kick out, Ball lining it up. Way off. Edgecombe delivers, Grimes missed it badly. Bona trying to save it through his legs, but it's out of bounds.
That helped Philadelphia right there. The fact that they caught that because they know how to fan out and hurt you with the 3. So that was fortuitous for the Sixers that now they can play half-court defense.
Mitchell gives it up. Proctor fakes the 3. Now will take. Can't hit. Ball trying to pick at it from George. George able to get it away. Somebody's down a shoe. It's Bona. Still battling on the glass. Tomlin comes up with it. The shoe is still in the paint. Mitchell leaning. Doesn't get the whistle or the bucket. Proctor thought about taking, but hesitated. Ball firing, no, and just not good-looking possessions here from Cleveland. Bona slipping with his sock through the lane, lost his footing, and went tumbling. All right, we're going to play a little trivia game. Who was the most likely candidate to have taken that shoe and thrown it?
I'll go with Charles Oakley.
Oh, very
Charles
nice.
Oakley would have been a good choice to do something like that.
Guys, don't forget, Mike Miller once hit a huge three-pointer in the finals in 2013 with one shoe.
Excellent call, George. Excellent call. Proctor buries the three after Philadelphia had matched its largest lead at 11.
Nice action there. When you enter the ball into the middle of the lane from one side of the floor, there's typically going to be a reaction from the weak side defensively. So that cross-court pass is there. Proctor took advantage.
What a wild sequence. Proctor actually stripped Hunter, and it ended up with Philadelphia. Looked like 4 assists, 5 rebounds, 5 of 10 from the floor in 25 minutes.
And I love his competitiveness defensively. I mean, he fights over screens better than a lot of...
Mitchell in the corner, fakes, takes, and hits from 3.
He got Paul George to fly by right there. Paul George like to have that opportunity back. He knows that he overcommitted on that. Great job by Mitchell reloading.
That is the 10th assist for Cleveland, going to need that if they're going to close the gap. Philadelphia, 7-point lead. Grimes missed that one. Hunter the rebound. Popped out of bounds, and it last hit. 16 turnovers for Cleveland, and a whistle on the floor against Hunter. From 3.
Over 40% each of the last 2 years, so that's pretty significant drop-off.
Now we have an offensive foul from Bona. Through him.
He's back on balance, like he's, not leaning to one side anymore.
That's right, you get used to it. Here's Porter, who has 10 assists tonight. Porter bounces in, Allen reverses it home. And Craig Porter Jr. has tied his career high with 11 assists.
Really nice job by Allen. He got Edgecombe on his back, and he just continued to muscle him out of there and just waited patiently for Porter to find the angle he needed to deliver that ball.
5-point game. Grimes dips in, blew the bunny, nearly got it back. And it's going to be
backcourt, but the Cavs here now down 5. They haven't been this close here in a while. An opportunity to get it to 2 or 3.
Porter dives in, gets denied by Edgecombe. Here's Maxey speeding into the paint. Couldn't fling it in on the weak side. Mitchell ends up with it. Cleveland with a 3-on-2. Mitchell, the spin, the dish. I think he had a bucket if he just went up. Tyson does as he lays it in, and it's a 1-possession game.
Nice job right there, Tyson. Rather than settle for that 3, he saw there was a wide-open driving lane.
Maxey misses a wide-open 3. Tyson a new career-high 33 points. Cavs on a 7-0 run to cut it to 3. Porter picked up the dribble, needs help in Hunter. Hunter will fire and hit, and this game is tied at 102.
Well, their defensive pressure has turned up. They've taken advantage of some easy opportunities missed by Philly, like the Grimes layup, but DeAndre Hunter with a big-time step-back 3. Roster to cut into this 10-point deficit. They were battling uphill the entire time. Finally got this thing to even. Let's see how Philly responds here.
And Philly responds with getting Embiid back into the game. Embiid has 31 tonight. Here's Maxey, little teardrop, won't go. He's missed a lot of the shots he typically makes now, 6 for 19. Mitchell gives it up. Allen has it taken away by Maxey. Maxey flies in. That one he finishes.
End-to-end right there. Tremendous job defensively. And we got a turnover in the backcourt on top of it. The Mac over to compound it.
Yeah, on the inbound. In the corner, Oubre connects. So 2 more turnovers, now 18 for the Cavs. Now 32 points off of them for Philadelphia. Mobley steps out of bounds.
Yeah, you could serve over differential.
Embiid, mid-range, cash money for Joel Embiid. He has 33 in Philadelphia with a 7-0 response to the 10-0 Cavs run. Mitchell trying to do it himself. Can't, but Mobley there to finish.
Yeah, and it's always tough when the back line goes to block a shot on penetration by a guard. You've got to get some sink down on the weak side to chip against those bigs that are coming in right behind Embiid to fill that void for the tip in. Nobody was there. Mobley gets an easy one.
Maxey evades Tyson. Step back jumper. He got it.
It's crafty use of his left hand right there. He stops on a dime. The left hand gives a little extra nudge to the defender. Created the separation.
Mitchell snaking. Oh, what a move from Mitchell. His midi back ironing off. Grimes the big time board. And Grimes trying to call a timeout. And
forces now the Sixers to be able to play in half court.
Looked like it should have been Mitchell who was the one jumping. Tyson again. He can't miss. 6 of 8 from 3, a new career high. He's up to 36 points. 4-point game. A reminder, Minnesota, Houston coming up next here on ESPN. Maxey dances, shovels, Mobley there to eliminate it. Hunter running with Mitchell. Hunter all the way in! The two-handed mammoth hammer.
Well, that was a situation where DeAndre Hunter sized up Embiid, and I think he definitely took account that he does not think this is the same Embiid that's going to be able to get off the ground. Only one way to finish that, with emphatic 2 hands.
2-point game. Edgecombe. 6 to shoot. The rookie gives it up. Embiid's had a huge night. Falling away. Couldn't float it in. Cavs can tie or take the lead. Mitchell through the lane to the corner. Tyson. You bet. 39 for Jalen Tyson. And the Cavs are in front by 1.
Man, it's been all night. And Mitchell knew he was there the entire time off that penetration.
Maxey gets the win.